Ariel Helwani in New York City following today's Bellator press conference alongside Bellator President Scott Coker. And Scott, excluding fight weeks, I feel like the last 7 or so days for you and the company have maybe been the biggest and best yet when you consider the Lyoto Machida signing, when you consider the Gegard versus Rory fight that you just announced, the welterweight tournament, and now the deal with DAZN. You've been doing a lot of business over the last 7 days. Would you agree with that statement?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely have a lot of news over the last 7 days, and it all started with putting this fight together for September 29th, and then the DAZN deal came together in the last month, let's say, or 3 weeks. That's going to be a great relationship. Really looking forward to putting on some big fights, and then we talked about free agency, and I said from the beginning we're going to go after every free agent that we can sign, and I just really proud about where I've seen this company go in the last 3 years, and it's kind of like a hockey stick, ratings are still solid, and our heavyweight tournament has averaged, I want to say, 1.1 million views for the main events. The sponsorships are up, international distribution's up. It's a good time to be in the Bellator business.
So my understanding is that here in the United States, the Gegard versus Rory card on September 29th is going to be exclusive to DAZN. That is maybe the biggest fight in the history of Bellator. I feel confident in saying that. It's a champion versus champion fight, 2 guys in their prime, etc. What led to the decision of not putting it on Paramount and putting it on that platform?
I mean, we want to start with a big fight, and this was the biggest fight. I mean, we have our welterweight champion fighting our middleweight champion. It doesn't get any bigger than that. So we talked to DAZN. They wanted something big and massive, and get people to really tune in and listen. You can try it 30 days for free, right? So people all over the planet can, or all over the United States and Canada, can watch this event for free and try the service.
Initially, it seemed like you weren't too keen on making this fight right away because both of them had yet to defend the title. How did you change your mind?
You know what? The plan was always to put these fights together.
Oh, really?
Seriously.
You were playing coy.
I was playing coy.
As you are known to do.
Yeah, sometimes I do that. But, it's, we want to put the big fights on. And this is, when I think of Lyoto Machida now in this mix, I'm just get excited because there's so many big fights ahead for this company. But that fight was already in the works. We just didn't leak it out.
Okay. Also on that card, Rampage versus Wanderlei 4. Why are you making this fight now and why at heavyweight?
I think Rampage wants to fight a heavyweight. Wanderlei doesn't care, where weight it is. But that's a fight that, personally, I can't wait to see. And to me, when you think about the history of this sport, that was, that trilogy that they fought is one of the most exciting, I think, in MMA. So, Wanderlei Silva is a legend. Rampage Jackson is a legend, and we're proud to put that fight on. And it's, when I think about this fight card with the tournament entry, for the 170-pound tournament, the Wanderlei Silva fight against Rampage Jackson, the Gegard fight with Rory. It's a stacked card. I mean, it's going to be unbelievable.
Speaking of being coy, you haven't told us who the field is yet for the welterweight tournament. So here we are. Let us break some news. Who are the 8 competitors?
Well, you know what? To be honest, like I said earlier, we're going to wait to announce it because we want to see what happens with how Ed Ruth looks this weekend in Pechanga. And then Kreshkov is fighting in Rome on July 14th. So let's see how he comes out of that, and then we'll decide. Okay. But you'll see some new faces, and you know how we like to mix it up. Like we don't just, we're not going to just put the 8 guys that you think are going to be here. Oh. But we're going to mix it up a little bit, and we're going to invite some people, and it's going to be a fun tournament.
Will Rory be a part of it? And if he is a part of it, is his belt on the line, or is he now fighting for the tournament belt?
Yeah, the details of all of that, of how it rolls out, and all that, how it all. We're going to announce it probably in mid-July, and we'll probably announce it here in New York.
All right.
Yeah, along with the, I believe that DAZN is going to have a fan fest that we're going to be part of here in mid-July in New York, and that's when we'll have all of the 8 fighters here, and we'll announce the matchups and the rules and the regulations and what it all means.
I'm going to ask you about MVP versus Daly. Okay. That has to happen, right, in this tournament?
You know what the thing is? It's like, look, one guy wants to do it one time, then another guy doesn't want to do it, then he wants to do it, then he doesn't want to do it. And listen, we would love to put that fight together, but I think timing is going to be an issue on that one. So,
really?
Yeah, I mean, listen, we'll invite him, but it's going to be interesting because the fights that we have for DAZN are going to be here. That fight makes a lot of sense in the UK. So, we'll see what happens. But we are working on at some point making that fight happen.
How difficult of a deal was it to get Lyoto to sign with Bellator?
You know what? Honestly, we got a call from his manager and said, "Hey, Lyoto is a free agent, and that means a lot of things. Sometimes it can mean, do you have matching rights? Do you have exclusive negotiation?" He says, "No, we don't have any exclusive negotiation. We go right to match." I flew down there with Mike, and we sat down with Lyoto, and honestly, we had a deal in place within 15 minutes. And that's really how it went down. I think that he said to you, I said, "Look, tell me what you want." And he said, "This is what I want." And I said, "Okay, if I can do that, are you willing to let us send in an offer and see if they'll match?" And he said, "Absolutely." And I said, "Okay." And then he said, "Okay." And then we shook hands and, took a picture. And then we waited until the 15 days. And then, here we are.
That's simple.
It was that simple. It literally took 15 minutes.
Wow.
We had dinner and everything,
Sure.
but the deal took 15 minutes to make.
Wow.
Yeah.
Speaking of free agency, I believe Michael Chandler is knocking at that door. Do you have an update on him?
I think we're working. Look, Michael is a great part of the history of Bellator, and he's a great lightweight fighter. And, we'd love to keep him. And I know that we're talking to him, and we're going to try to make a deal.
Are you confident?
I feel good about it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I feel good about it.
How close are you?
Michael should fight in Bellator. This is where he was, he had all his fights, and his history and legacy is here. And, you know how it is. It's like the producer and the talent. The producer, there's certain budgets and this and that, and then the talent always wants it. So that's just how it is. It's just the nature of our business.
Just a couple more for you. Josh Barnett is now officially a free man, and he mentioned yesterday on my show that he's obviously interested in what you're doing along with other promotions. Are you interested in being back in business with Josh Barnett?
Yeah, absolutely. We're talking to his manager, I think, tomorrow.
Okay.
And we'll see if we can make a deal.
You want him?
Of course. I think Josh would be great. So, it's not a done deal by any means, but we'll definitely be talking to Leland in the next day or so.
And we are in New York right now, and the initial talk was that the semifinals of the heavyweight tournament, Chael, Fyodor, Bader, Mitrione, would be here in New York or maybe LA. Could you tell us when those fights will be, or maybe what vicinity?
We're shooting for mid-October to have both those guys fight.
Yeah.
We tried to get a venue in New York. We tried to get Madison Square Garden, and we just were not successful. And the dates are so booked for all the sports teams and all the concerts and everything. So, we're going to have to, go to another venue, unfortunately. And I think that it will be out of the New York area.
Okay.
And when I say
where is it?
I mean the Fedor fight, the Fedor versus Chael. So Chicago is an option, and LA is an option at this point. But I will say this: I think that in mid-October you'll see Mitrione and Bader fighting. I believe it's going to happen at the Mohegan Sun.
Okay, so it won't be on the same night anymore.
No, it's not going to be on the same night anymore.
Okay.
If the Garden was available, then we would have jumped on it. But we'll have two different events, and it'll be either one night apart or a week apart.
Okay, and Machida, you don't have a date for him yet?
No, but I think he wants to fight in October, November. He said.
Okay.
So we're going to get him going. Yeah, we're going to get him going. So he's excited. We're excited. We got a lot of great fights for him. I can see the winner of this fight, fighting him in the future. I can see him fighting Bader. I can see him fighting Phil Davis. I can see him, fighting King Mo. He told me he wants to fight Fedor too. So, we'll see. We got a lot of great fights for him ahead.